how we got here may not be what you think. And let's talk about where we're going. Where we started and where we're going. Do you have a grasp of how the role of the assistant evolved, where it currently sits, and where it is going, and what opportunities recent generational changes with the role and work in general offers you in your career? Let's answer those questions today. I'm Ethan Bull. I have more than 25 years of C-suite experience as an executive assistant at billion-dollar companies in entertainment, advertising, and healthcare. I've led teams of assistants at 3 different companies, and one of those teams was more than 80 executive assistants. I'm the co-author of the 29-Hour Workday, a high performer's guide to leveraging your EA, and I'm the co-founder of Pro Assisting, a remote fractional executive assistant service agency. Pre-1995. It's important that if you weren't working as an assistant before 95, or even alive for that matter, knowing the history and the physical frameworks around the role of the assistant sheds light on how the role is viewed and the forces that are pushing up against us for more status, compensation, and respect. Landline phones, copier machines, interoffice envelopes, paper diaries, if you will, all of these were the tools of the trade for an assistant before 1995. And these tools actually put physical limitations on our work and how much we could do. And so by having these limitations, it restricted what our role could actually be. And it also placed in the minds of our principals, our employers, the idea that what were we doing? We're basically answering the phone, dealing with the copier jam, and handing out interoffice envelopes. We're still fighting against those today. But then a wrecking ball came. This is what we like to call wrecking ball number 1. Windows 95. Email, contacts, and calendar. These 3 programs began to greatly chip away at landline phones, copiers, interoffice envelopes, and paper calendars. Then, a few years later, remote work is born in 1999. BlackBerries were handed out to assistants in finance and entertainment like Tic Tacs. And what happened? Well, when we got an email at 8:03 p.m. on a Wednesday, we answered it. And when our principal got a meeting invite at 2:38 p.m. on a Sunday, we accepted it. There were no remote work policies. There wasn't any increase in comp, just expectations of getting it done. It's pretty quaint now that C-suites are demanding back to the office and remote work doesn't work when we've been working remotely for more than 20 years. I believe they don't want to be faced with remote work policies or having to acknowledge all the work that was getting done outside of business hours for more than a decade. And then we have 2007. The iPhone was introduced, the BlackBerry for the rest of us. The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, which really acknowledged virtual assistant support overseas for $5 an hour. Social media for the masses, Facebook. It allowed anyone to sign up for an account. Little did we know the huge industry that would come up and flourish around that. And then we have wrecking ball number 2. March 13th, 2020. And yeah, it was a Friday. The day COVID took over. Probably the last day most of us were in the office. As assistants, we were the glue that held us together. We kept communication flowing and coached our principals on the tech to get us through those crazy months. COVID was proof that employees needed to show their managers that remote work actually works. Just imagine if COVID happened 10 or 15 years earlier and the technology was not as mature as it was. How big of an impact that would have had on the economy. And then we have wrecking ball number 3. I promise, the last wrecking ball. But there is a question mark next to this one. November 3rd, 2022. ChatGPT was launched. Is this the assistant job killer? We do not believe this is an either or situation. Either ChatGPT and artificial intelligence, or you have an assistant. We firmly believe this is a both and situation. Principals want to leverage artificial intelligence in their business and their office, but they don't know or want to know what prompt to use and how to think about incorporating it. And that's where we as assistants can thrive. Technology in general. Just as with AI, we constantly need to be upskilling ourselves in the area of technology. We teach our EAs to have an overview of all the different categories of tech programs. There's the CRM, there's the project management tools, there's the image editing tools, there's the email marketing tools, there's the CMS tools. Know one specific program from each of those categories. You'll be able to speak to the category, and then if the need arises through it working for a new principal, a new company, or a new client, you're able to get up to speed quickly because you understand the general framework of the reason the program is being used and how it can fit into the workflow today and beyond. Remote and hybrid work are only going to keep increasing. This will increase opportunities for more flexible work, but also for assistants who like working in the office. Having support in office is always going to be part of an opportunity as well. So if you do enjoy working in the office, you may be able to negotiate better comp, a travel stipend, and other benefits to go along with that. And we've got a lot going for us. Let's talk about technology empowerment. Technology gives us the tools to get stuff done and work from anywhere. If we don't know how to do something, we can figure it out just with our fingertips. Maybe a video from YouTube. The options really are endless, and it allows us to get smart quickly, ask the right questions, and present the best information to our principals. Respect and recognition. Younger generations of C-suite management aren't hindered by previous conceptions about assistants. They don't see us as answering landline phones, dealing with the copier, and pushing inner office envelopes. They know the power and breadth of impact assistants can have. This opens up more roles with principals wanting a partner versus someone just to delegate to. Broadening of scope. From our work with Pro Assisting, principals and clients want a utility player that represents them at a high level in every aspect of their life. They don't separate their own to-do list by business and personal, high level and low level. It all just needs to get done. And if they can partner with an assistant that they know, like, and trust, they're going to be willing to have that assistant interact with all aspects of their life, everything to do on their to-do list, freeing up the time for them to focus on the things they're best at. More titles and higher comp. Business partner, chief of staff, office of the CEO, director of administrative services, special projects coordinator, and others. As what we've undertaken has grown, so is the compensation, and so is the title designation. This should be a time of great expansion for the assistant role because we are utility players and we can move the needle in a number of different ways. Community. The community of assistants on LinkedIn and Facebook and private groups and leaders in the space allow for the free flow of information around compensation, around what's inbounds and what's out of bounds in terms of treatment, sharing of new role opportunities. All of these contribute to our role as assistants. Me Too. The Me Too movement has shaken the old guard to its core and is having lasting effects on the treatment of assistants and what is appropriate. There's more respect. There's repercussions for bad behavior. There's decreasing fear for coming forward All of that said, there's still more work that needs to be done. How can assistants meet the moment? I think one of the best compliments that an assistant can get, even if they don't hear the compliment, is someone who calls their principal, interacts with them either via phone or email, walks away from that interaction and says, you know what? I don't know what it was about that assistant, but I really liked them. They really helped me. They may not have given me everything that I want, but they pointed me in the right direction. What I'm talking about here doesn't cost any money. It can be implemented in a number of different ways, and it sets us apart from the technology that is coming for our jobs. Service to hospitality. A hospitality mindset is emotional intelligence combined with soft skills, combined with work ethic. And this is your secret weapon in cementing your purpose as an assistant for your principals. Hospitality is the secret weapon against technology creep and AI. Hospitality is the secret weapon to respect, to trustworthiness, to job security, and actually to your own job satisfaction. The hospitality mindset makes your principals smile when they get a call or text or email from you, because they know you're coming with solutions and that you usually make them feel good. Service is something you do for or to someone. Hospitality is how you make them feel as you're providing that service. And we also have options. W-2 employee. If you're getting a job as an assistant, there are more points to negotiate for. Remote work policy, your title, your responsibilities. There's more openness to speak about comp or signing bonus or PTO. As discussed, the role continues to grow in respect and the desire to have a great assistant. More opportunities to get promoted from within, if that is your goal. Independent contractor. The opportunity of working for clients versus employers are many at many different levels and has exploded recently. And there's great benefits of business ownership as an assistant. This allows you to niche into what you enjoy doing and are good at. It allows you to deduct business expenses. It allows you to save for retirement greatly. It allows you to craft your life how you want to be living it. Where the business world is going. So over the last 20 years, it's been really interesting to see the effect that the internet and technology has had on the business world. Frankly, the internet wiped away the geographical boundaries on the map for small and medium-sized businesses. SaaS products, which is software as a service, allows those small and medium-sized businesses to punch above their weight by leveraging technology to help them scale. And now we're seeing a different shift, a shift that is complementary to those first two. So we have the employee at a business. Now, prior to COVID, most businesses would think about augmenting their employees and what they get from them with 1099s, consultants, contractors, advisors, freelancers, someone who can come in on an as-needed basis to augment what they're getting from their employees, and that helps them grow and meet the moment. Now that remote work has been fully embraced by small and medium-sized businesses, there's a new term that encompasses all of these other terms, and it's fractional. Now, with the combination of the internet, those SaaS products that I mentioned, and now fractional, small and medium-sized businesses can get a fractional chief marketing officer. They could get a fractional chief operating officer or chief financial officer. And if they need all three, they can get all three without making a bet and saying, I need my chief operating officer first, so I need to hire them as an employee And only then can I think about the CFO or the CMO. By going fractionally, they can hire a fractional CMO, a fractional CFO, and a fractional COO all at the same time for the same cost it would have been for hiring that full-time chief operating officer. And I think you're going to see this term fractional much more through the coming years. And I think it harkens back all the way to 2007 when my best IT person at an ad agency came and said, "Hey, I'm leaving." And as an assistant, when your key IT person is leaving, it's kind of a big deal. They're your go-to person. And I said, "Joe, where are you going? What's going on?" And he said, "I'm starting my own business. I'm just going to work for clients instead of working for bosses." And, that was happening with 1099s, consultants, advisors, freelancers. And now we're just putting the term fractional around it to where it can encompass anything from the C-suite all the way down to IT, bookkeeping, and yes, assistants. What does fractional mean for assistants, though? You see, these fractional C-suite execs, they start working with a company and they realize that the CEO doesn't have the support they need to be successful. So they search us out for a fractional executive assistant that they can partner with their CEO, and that makes their jobs easier. By viewing what you do as an assistant as a fractional portion, you get to break away from the dollars per hour discussion. You're charging flat retainers based on aspects of you and what you do beyond dollars per hour. It provides an opportunity to make more and live your life on your own terms. Fractional in the case of the assistant means recurring month-to-month payment. That means long-term relationships and predictable compensation. Fractional means charging by percent of your resources and not by dollars per hour. You see, for an assistant, there's value beyond what you're paid for the actual time you work. There is value in your exclusivity. If you're only supporting 4 different clients, they know they're getting that resource from you. It's not like you're supporting 10. There's value in your hard experience that client gets access to and they can mine for their own benefit. And then there's immense value in the legacy knowledge that builds up in you about that specific client. You get more efficient over time. You get to know them better over time, see around corners, anticipate problems, offer solutions that worked before, all based on that legacy knowledge. And that is really hard to replace easily. So let's recap. We're seeing that the role of the assistant is more respected and having greater influence than ever before. AI and technology, we feel, is a both and positive for the role and not an either or negative. Upping the service we provide to hospitality is our secret weapon against encroaching technology and also job security. The acceptance of remote work has spurred an acceptance of fractional partners versus only employees. The remote work acceptance allows assistants to support from anywhere. We should expect the landscape of our role and how we are incorporated into the working world to always be evolving. But what we're really confident in is that assistants will always have a role to play. I want to thank you for your time. If you would like to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can find me under Ethan Bull. Thanks again.